Hey everybody, this is Jay Nando, San Antonio Metal Music Examiner here at Backstage Live, March 16th, 2012, and we're having the pleasure here of being with an absolute incredible guitarist and vocalist. You know Michael Schenker here.
Are you
and of course,
this?
yes we are.
Ah, hi.
Say hello to the world out there. And of course, McAuley on vocals, guys. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Just got done with sound check. I mean, your fingers are probably still warm. It was literally 2 minutes ago. Sound check just ended, and it's fabulous to have you guys back here. Welcome. I know it's for me personally, it seems like yesterday. I still remember the Headbangers Ball episode the two of you guys did in 1987. I still have that on VHS somewhere, and I know Michael gave away a flying V and a guitar.
Again, another one?
Was a
I just gave
contest.
one away.
Did you?
Ricky
Yeah.
Rackman, right?
Yeah, well, I believe so. So, I mean, here we are 25 years later.
Still giving guitars away.
Still giving guitars. Where's mine? No. 25 years later, I mean, and the obvious first question for me is, you know, I'm Michael, you've been touring around with guys, different singers, different drummers, different players the last couple of years. Robin is now back in the fold. How did it all come back together for the two of you?
His lawyer called me.
Well,
Actually,
Robin and I, we have done, you know, like I kept doing stuff, Robin kept doing stuff, you know, I did a lot of personal development and musical development, experimental stuff that I'm sure Robin and other people would not be interested in, so I had to get this out of my system, and it took quite a few years, and so I kept going like this, and in between, maybe since 2004 or something like that, you know, somehow I think we did like a live show together or a NAMM show, or somehow I ended up with Robin on stage, and at some point I asked him if he would sing on one of the songs. I'm putting together this thing, and then we ended up again somewhere on a NAMM show, and then, you know, it's just like in between, bit by bit, and then, you know, when I this album Temple of Rock, I had no concept, you know. So I just kind of, I thought, you know, it's time to make another record, and so, you know, I started off. I was actually rehearsing with Herman Rabel and Pete Way on a live project. We were going to call it Strangers in the Night. I hadn't played UFO songs for a long time, and I was feeling like the need of expressing that once again. And so then you know, Herman was in the picture, and at the same time I started to, you know, get those songs together I wanted to record. It's a long story actually. And then I went to this demo studio. And I asked Michael first if he could do some guide vocals, and so he started doing guide vocals. And I was like, Michael, you can sing! This is incredible! I never knew. And I knew he wanted always to do something with me. I never really took it serious, but now I knew. Wait a minute, you can sing. You do the vocals. So he agreed. You know, he's a great producer and all around excellent musician. And so we started doing this, so now I went back to the UK, and then Pete and Herman heard parts of the demo, and I want to do the bass, I want to do the drums, and all of a sudden I had a drummer and a bass player, and a singer, and wow, you know, this is something is happening here. Then I thought, well, what about, and then I think he did this intro piece, and I was kind of very fascinated with it, but I said, like, we need maybe a famous actor with a big voice or something, you know. At the same time, I get a phone call to play on the new album from William Shatner, Captain Kirk.
Yes.
And I went, that's the guy! We want him to speak on the album. And so we asked him if he would do that. I said, yes, do his album. And so we ended up on each other's album. And so starting to take shape in a very unexpected way, you know, and which I couldn't have planned myself. No way. And so all of a sudden I went like, why we don't include, you know, musicians from the past, you know? And so we started going through the list and all of these different people, and you know, one of them was like Robin. So we asked Robin if he would do this one song, and he actually scrapped what was there already. He did his own thing, excellent piece of stuff there that he put to a backing thing. I was really amazed by it, and then that basically that was his entrance. He was in there with that song, and the same happened with, you know, then Doogie came into the picture. I also did with Doogie some stuff here and some stuff there, and you know, and because Doogie kept coming up, I went, hey, what about Doogie? Actually, my lawyer, he said like, hey, Doogie, we want Doogie. And so we said like, okay. So I said to him after the meeting, okay, there's a song that we tried with Doogie, it's not working. I think I have to write a new song, right? So I left my mom's place. No, actually, I left the lawyer's place. Okay. With the iPhone, right, and Amy with me, and we went to the train station, right. On the way to the train station, hang on a second. I think I've got something. We carried on, we got into the train. Wait, hang on a second. Kept going like this. As we get to my mom, 20-minute ride, you know, I had the song ready. It was amazing. It turned out an incredible song. You know, I came back to the studio the next day. I told him I'm going to write a song, you know. And I said to him, wouldn't that be funny if that would become like a hit or something, you know? He's actually played around the clock in the UK right now for the last, 3 months. Since it's just weird. All the elements that came together was more like a universal kind of I do my part, the universe does the driving, whatever this means, we're doing this, I do my part, everybody's doing their parts. And so, that's how we came together.
Well, it's fantastic that you guys have come together, and Lover's Symphony, the new song on the Temple of Rock album that Michael just mentioned, came out. The album came out last September, so go pick it up. Lover's Symphony is a song that Robin does on the album, and we've just had the pleasure of hearing it at Soundcheck. It was fabulous. Mike, or Robin, for you, just go ahead and update people. I know you were singing in Survivor.
Eye of the Tiger.
I mean, for me, you can't mention Survivor without.
I went like.
I would like to know that.
How on earth did this happen?
Great. Because for me, Perfect Timing, Save Yourself, and the self-titled MSG record, which I thought was a fabulous, underrated record, came out in 1992. And then, as far as I know from the landscape, you disappeared. And I know you did several things in many years since then, but it's been a long time. So can you just give us quick update on what you've been doing for 20 years?
Okay, I'll be really fast. I think one of the first things I did was I recut Free Ride with Edgar Winter, which saw.
You said with Edgar Winter?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did Free Ride.
I'm getting educated now.
Free Ride ran for about 2 years, both with Burger King, and then Buick picked it up. So it was a car commercial for about 2 years, and I did a bunch of other commercials. There's a company called Finger Music, and I did a Doritos commercial with that too. And so I also had twin boys in the meantime. And I made a very conscious effort that I really wanted to see my boys walk. And as it turned out, in '94, I had recorded a record which turned out to be a solo record with Frankie Sullivan from Survivor.
Yes.
And that saw the light of day in Japan, which was called Business as Usual. And in '94, Frankie said to me, he goes, I think you should join Survivor. And I'm going, no way, it's a pop band. And he goes, no, you're wrong. And I went, I said, go talk to Jimmy Jameson. That's the end of it. And I just was flat. It was the wrong suit of clothes, So long story short, then I started to work. I got out of the scene. I wanted to see my boys walk. I missed Jamie's first steps because I was in Japan on tour, and I went, it bummed me out. Came back. My other son, Casey, took him like, come on, start walking already. He took a few steps, and then he didn't walk again for a month. So once we got through that, and I think they were about 5, I started picking up the phone and going, okay, I think I'm ready to sing now. The boys are like, getting on there. And I'd done my bit, and thank God for a good wife. So I started getting into a bunch of tribute, a ton of tribute records, just to keep working on it. But I didn't want to get really back out into it heavily, And I got into computer graphics, got into graphic design, because man, I got to do something, And then we had a bunch of different all-star lineups. Vinny Appice, Chris Slade, Howard Leese from Heart, and that ran on into doing the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. And it's amazing because when you're over there on stage and you have Simon Kirk playing drums and you're singing free songs, it's pretty cool.
Is that free song?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Because Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, he goes, we should do Rock and Roll Fantasy, and I goes, okay, Simon, that's yours. He goes, I'm not singing it, you're singing it. So that was pretty cool. And we had Red Beach on guitar. We had Mark Farnham from Grand Funk Railroad, and just a plethora of musicians, like 11, 12 musicians on this, too many guitar players on stage. What about the singer? But I don't know if you heard Mark Farnham sing. He's a monster.
Oh, yeah, I used to.
Oh, Mike from Grand Funk Rally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Monster. He's a monster. It's great. What a great camaraderie, and we've done a lot of that stuff. And Howard Leese, of course, has been with Paul Rogers for
Who?
about 15 years. Hart's guitar player. Howard Leese.
Ah.
Yeah, he's been like the music director for Paul Rogers for
Oh,
about
really?
15 years.
Uh-huh.
So I'd always seen Howard with Hart. And funnily enough, Mark Andes, the old bass player from Hart, called me yesterday when we were in Houston because he wanted to come down to this show.
Geez.
But he had a show in Austin last night, so
Gotcha.
that didn't work out. And I think another record came up with Michael in the Tale of the
Yeah, Tales of Rock and Roll.
Tales of Rock and Roll, and then we had a song on that called The Story that came out. And then, as Michael said, we did the NAMM shows, and I didn't really want to have a regular band. And then my phone rang, and then I got all of these emails from the Survivor management, and I'm going, oh, I just so do not want to do this, you know. So I relented. Frankie gets me into Chicago. There's like 24 songs on a Saturday afternoon. I'm still learning on the plane, okay?
Oh.
And we ran through them, and he goes, oh my God, it's great to play these hits. It's great to hear them sung properly. And I'm like, careful what you say. So 5 years later, actually, when I auditioned, he goes, please do this. And I went, I really don't want to do this. Please just check with your singer one more time. I so didn't want to do it. I felt, you know, I'm the only guy in the band who's got a tattoo. And I thought, this is so the wrong suit of clothes. Do I have to wear long sleeve shirts all the time? He goes, no, just be yourself. You know, ripped jeans. And nobody else is like, because he said to me, he goes, oh, you're going to really like it when you get out there and we suit up and we get ready for stage. And I'm going, when we suit up? What does that mean? and really, I'm dead serious. And it was freaking me out. And I'm going, oh, Lord, you know. And I'm looking at all these pictures of the band and I'm going, this is not going to be me. So we start singing Eye of the Tiger, we start singing Can't Hold Back and IOU, and everybody, of course, associates Survivor with that one song. And of course, there's about a dozen hits. You know, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Hide and Can't Hold Back, The Search Is Over, and all of that. Yeah, but it doesn't. So the entire set is just hit singles. You know, so different audience for me.
Sure,
Different audience for me, and. November saw the end. We were in Canada with Starship, with Starship and Eddie Money. It was a three package, and we're playing an ice rink. It was great and all that sort of stuff. And about a week or two later, Frankie and I got talking. And Survivor had hit some, I think, 2.6 or 3.6 downloads on iTunes of Eye of the Tiger. All of these years later, and they were offered a proposition or whatever. And I said, no, this is a great idea.
So you were still trying to get out?
Great idea, go do it. So part of that whole proposition was putting the original lineup back. Even though Jimmy Jamison was not the original singer, Dave Victor was the original singer, but he sang most of the hits. So I said, okay, this is good, bye. And ironically, I think about a month before that happened, Michael's lawyer had contacted me, Peter Kaufman, and I got this email, and my wife goes, did you answer that email? I go, no, I didn't answer that email. She goes, what's keeping you? And I'm like, I'm still tied into this thing here till this is finished. So another email came in about the availability, and I go, no, I really want to answer this email. No, I can't, because I don't know about I was afraid that they would want to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to start tomorrow. So as soon as that was cleared up, I got back online with Peter, and he goes, yeah, what is this? What does it happen? Blah, blah, blah. He sent it in, so here we are.
Awesome.
And we're about 19 in so far. So we started in San Francisco, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun.